There are still some empty seats, so if anyone want to take a seat. I think maybe it's time for me to start. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my session today. I'm Kristy. In real life, I'm Sandrine, Associate Professor at the University of British Columbia, Department of Curriculum and Pedagogy. I would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which I am presenting from is the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation people. Today, my talk is entitled Humanity in the Era of Virtual Connection. It is an autoethnographic narrative. I invite you to contemplate with me through the thought process I experienced. Introduction. Should I attend VWBPE this year? I asked myself. My presentation proposal was accepted, so how can I say no? I shake my head. But I really can't get in there now. What should I do? I cried in front of the computer again. Since 2010, I have not missed any VWBPE conference because I love the warmth and supportive community. However, I finally said no this time because I was unable to even open the virtual world browser. Depression. Since my childhood, I have dreamed of being a professor. Not because I know what professors do, but because I heard that every 7 years a professor has a year of sabbatical. Perhaps that was naive. However, I worked hard and finally earned my first sabbatical, and it started on January 1st, 2020. How happy and excited I should have been. However, I was not. In late 2019, I was diagnosed with severe depression, and 2020 became a year that I will remember as the year I tried to save myself from myself. In case you don't know someone with or have not experienced depression, this mental health issue can occur in anyone at any age in any situation. Generally, depression patients take depression medication to control it, and they are additionally advised to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I was taking medication and seeing a psychologist at the beginning of 2020. Trying to climb out from the depression deep black hole, I was sucked in repeatedly. I could hardly go out, meet people, or function. Hiding, crying, and trying to determine how to survive become my daily life. I have a supportive family. They stay with me and help me in any way they can. However, it was not enough. Depression was consuming me. I was seeking help. However, I did not want to be a burden to my friends. I did not want my dark thoughts to influence their lives. Therefore, I was hiding. Just when I was trying to calm myself, one chilly February morning, I received a message from my Second Life friend. Natalie is gone. She took her life last night. I read the message several times. I could not understand it, and I did not want to understand it. Natalie was my dear friend. We met in Second Life when I was working on my PhD, and she was teaching in Second Life. She was supportive to my research, and we enjoyed sharing our dreams about how to engage Second Life for education. When she heard that I have a virtual organization that we met in my tiny Second Life home, she offered me a free location to hold meetings and told me that I could do everything I wanted to do in Second Life. I was so appreciative. I host monthly meetings for years, 2 international virtual conferences, and several art exhibitions at the location she generously provided. She recently applied virtual technology to traditional Taiwanese opera, and these efforts took the opera to the next level. I met her in 2018 in Taiwan. She told me that she wanted to do an opera with a new technology in Canada and asked me if I could help. I made a few connections, and she was invited to come to Vancouver in 2020. We were both so excited about it. Now she's gone because of depression. I cannot believe it, and I do not want to believe it. She was warm and smiley. She was kind and thoughtful. How could she live like this? I could not stop crying. We were cheerleaders for each other. Whenever our project proposals were rejected, we encouraged each other. Even though we were not in the same field, she was there for me. I pulled my hair, trying to feel myself. No, it must be a nightmare. She's coming to Vancouver this summer, I kept telling myself. When I met my family doctor the same day, I was still in denial. After all the regular assessments, I quietly told my doctor, one of my best friends passed away because of depression. He looked at me and told me that he would provide me 8 weeks of sick leave so that I could focus on bringing myself back together. I smiled and thanked him. Yeah, sure, sick leave during study leave. That is funny, I thought. I acquainted myself with more Natalie's friends and during this time. They were her dearest friends, and we were trying to help each other to get back on our own feet. Depression's black hole kept dragging me down, and both old and new friends were offering their hands, trying to pull me up. However, it was not that easy. COVID-19 and online learning. When I was considering quitting my job, hoping that would enable me to overcome depression, the COVID-19 lockdown began. I stopped meeting with my psychologist and stopped my travel around the world planning. My university moved all physical classes online. While the majority of people were shocked at the change, I was disappointed that I missed the chance to teach online. Many teachers tried different platforms and software. However, many people I know have not been satisfied with any of the online conferencing tools. I read posts on social media. Teachers want to have a more engaging and immersive teaching experience with the students. I had previously told these teachers about virtual opportunity for teaching. However, back when these teachers had spare time, the pre-COVID, they told me that the virtual world was old technology for education. They told me that the learning curve in virtual world was overwhelming. Now they were moving all their courses online. They would not have time to learn it. With a bitter. I needed some time before I was ready to post on social media and tell the teacher friends that they could feel free to utilize my OpenSim for teaching. However, as I expected, no one replied. Why do people like to judge something before they even know it? I wondered. Why are they so easily influenced by other people without even knowing something themselves? I cannot understand. I know that I should go out and help. However, I think I know how people will reply. No, I don't have time for it now. I am all burned out by preparing courses online. Or maybe during the summer break I will learn. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. I question why I'm still trying to help, why I'm still trying to promote the virtual world for education when the outsiders seem to despise it. I desperately want to be part of the VWBPE in 2020. However, I could not. I simply could not open my Firestorm. The virtual world reminds me of Nomley and all those people who think my research is child's play. Most importantly, I do not know how to handle all those friendly faces. I just cannot. Once again, I'm drowning in depression. Homeschooling. Because of COVID, my son could not go to kindergarten or daycare, and all the after-school activities were canceled, and my partner worked from home. That is to say, I could not work in the daytime. One may ask why work during sick leave plus study leave. Although I was not teaching or working on university service work, I was still on several organizations' executive boards. And I'm still care for my graduate students. As I spend time with my little one, I started learning from him. I love him dearly. However, because I'm a working mom, I rely on school and after-school care to take care of him. I often wondered why he did not decide which hand to utilize for holding a pen. Why did he not like to make art like other kids? I asked the teachers, and they told me what I have already read in books. He is not there yet. He will be able to do it when the time comes, they said. Every day, my little one and I read together, do math together, draw together, do some scientific experiments together, and ride bikes together. Day after day, we do these things, and I have come to know him better than before. I learned that he likes to engage his right hand more than his left hand, and I started asking him to hold the pen only on his right hand. He had no problem with it. After several days, he could write his name more easily. One day, he told me that he likes to draw. As an art educator, I was greatly encouraged. However, at the same time, I asked myself, for how long did he need and want to have someone help him decide which hand to utilize or teach him how to do things? I feel guilty that I have not provided him with this help when he needed it. Battling with my depression, homeschooling my son, care for my family, and work at night. Like all working moms, I constantly felt the guilt that I did not do anything well enough. Minecraft. I heard about Minecraft long ago. However, it had not interested me due to its boxy environment. However, while doing my research with students at different levels, I learned that many K-12 students love Minecraft. I thought it was just because they had not had a chance to experience Second Life or OpenSea in this kind of virtual world yet. I demonstrate for my son the OpenSea I utilized. I'm not sure why, but he was not impressed. I heard Minecraft education is fun for kids to learn, so I finally decided to download it and play it with him. When we first opened Minecraft, I saw the excitement in his eyes. Minecraft is a direct link to his Lego experience. We watched video tutorials together and learned how to play. Every day he has 30 minutes of Minecraft time. Soon he was better than me in Minecraft. I purchased several Minecraft books for him. Some are simply stories and some are guidebooks. Because of his love of Minecraft, he tried to read all these books himself. He would read about it in the morning and play it in the afternoon. Yes, he enjoyed the creative mode. However, he does not like the world that has no challenge. He loved the peaceful survival mode. In a peaceful survival mode in Minecraft, users need to explore and mine their own items. Nothing is taken for granted like in the creative mode. I figured that the uncertainty of Minecraft was what my son enjoyed. The uncertainty stroked his curiosity, and curiosity held him in the world so that he did not want to leave. As an educator, through this finding, I wondered how I could hide the mind in my class, regardless of whether it was in the virtual world or the real world. How could I provoke students' curiosity, inciting them to be eager to learn? First, human interaction. During the COVID lockdown, the three of us stayed in our small apartment 24/7. We were all tired and needed air to breathe. My partner and I decided to move from the college town and find a house where we each can have our own space. We found a kind realtor to guide us through the process. The process was not easy, but we became friends with our realtor and her family. As a matter of fact, since I moved to Canada, I have not really had a chance to make any friend who did not have work relationship with me. I have great colleagues and wonderful students. However, I did not have a friend who I could hang out with and just talk about things like kids or like family. I'm so grateful to know her and have great relationship with her. We moved to our new place and we were learning almost everything about this place online, including the food that can be delivered to our home and the local places that we can shop online. We also explored our neighborhood by foot. Live in a college town and live next to a trail made me slow down. With more connection to nature, I have become calmer, and the hole of depression is not endlessly deep anymore. I also know that I have a question, I have someone I can turn to. Second, human interaction. Since we settled in the new home, my depression symptoms have become manageable and I want to engage my brain again. I always want to bridge Chinese culture with Western culture. As an art educator, I know how to teach art. Additionally, I want to learn how people teach language, and I want to know if they also teach culture through language learning. Therefore, I registered for an online Chinese language teaching certificate program, and it was online every night at midnight. It was a Zoom class with 25 students. We learned together every day for a month. I was happy in this class not only because of the content I learned, but also because of the wonderful students who were in the class. The students were mostly Taiwanese people who live around the world. Some people were already teaching Chinese and some were just starting. The instructors were all knowledgeable and employed appropriate pedagogy to engage the students. I was fortunate that the students in this class were open-minded and loved to share. However, it was not until a professor assigned us a group assignment that I finally had a direct engage with other students. Since we were from around the world, it was not easy to perform the assignment together. My group had one student in Japan, one in England, one in Poland, and I'm in Canada. In our small group Zoom discussions, we talked not only about the assignment, but we care for each other's lives. I feel such warmth from my classmates. I was called by my real Chinese name in my native language. We also talk about our family life. While this experience seems simple, they had been far from me. I gained strength through this experience. The course ended in one short month. However, we continued to communicate through the online chatting application. People are still sharing relevant information and job opportunities. Particularly, we are organizing knowledge sharing sessions. everyone is encouraged to share what we know that others may not. As for me, I recently presented a session on language teaching and learning in an immersive virtual world of Second Life. Many people were interested in it. Therefore, I am preparing for the follow-up session to bring them into Second Life and learn about virtual pedagogy. Did I forget about Anomaly? Certainly not. I took this chance as a tribute to Anomaly. The warmth of my classmates lent me the power to once again enter the virtual world, share it, and advocate for it, just as Anomaly would like to see me do. Thanks to my friends, I was able to step aside from my depression, and I am able to work on my passion once again. The unsatisfying human interaction. Recently, I participated in an online art education conference which happened in a Pathable conference system. And it linked to the Zoom meeting. This conference was the most important art education conference in North America. Thousands of art educators looking forward to participate annually. In 2020, this conference was canceled due to COVID. Therefore, we were looking forward to the conference this year. However, there was something missing from the conference. True, we heard our friends and colleagues' work. We see their faces, and if we like, we can talk and interact with them. However, no one had any more interaction after each session ended. No one walked to the presenter or other audience to discuss and talk about their experiences. Most of the participants were not showing their faces, and one can recognize another only by their screen names. I saw many names that I recognized. How much I wanted to send them a message, but I didn't, because I don't know if they were fully engaged in the session. Between sessions, everyone just left the room and moved on their life or other sessions in the virtual conference. I asked myself, why I enjoy VWBPE conference so much better. Of course, the conference organization was wonderful. There were not only sessions and presentations, there were also time for us to socialize, to get to know each other. I also believe it is a difference between a 2D conference and a 3D conference. In a 2D conference system, each person is locked in front of their screen. They cannot move, and they cannot physically go to another person to say hi. However, in a 3D conference, we are moving around. I always like to find my friends on the minimap and sit near them. I know it doesn't matter, but it is a psychological comfort for me to feel we are together. Their avatar might not look like who they are. However, it does not matter. It is a virtual physical space for me to feel belong. Most of the time, my friends can quickly notice my existence because I'm virtual physically besides them. After I sit next to them, I like to send them a message asking about their life and how they enjoy the conference. It is so natural, just like how it should happen in real-life conference. Once the session ends, we also can have a virtual coffee together. The conversation continues, not stopped by the end of the session. In a 3D conference, we are mobile. We are not restricted. The 3D space becomes a 3D place where we can feel belong and connect. Maybe it is always also why we can find our best friend and the love of our life in a 3D environment. I believe there are many more researches need to be done in this area. Where are we looking at? Besides the environment that allows us to be mobile in virtual worlds, what we are looking at might be another reason why virtual worlds create better meeting environments. When we are sitting in front of the video conferencing tool, when we are looking into a group of people, very often we are seeing ourselves. Psychologically, when we are seeing ourselves, we are self-conscious and might not be paying same amount of attention to the speaker in the face-to-face meeting as in a face-to-face meeting. When our camera is on, we also are aware of we are being seen by others, and we are aware that we are under surveillance. This kind of experience does not happen often in our daily life, because when we are able to see ourselves, most of the time we are in front of the mirror, and there's no one trying to talk to us in front of the mirror. Therefore, fighting with our own self-conscious during serious meetings and online courses may not be the best practice. Maybe this is also the reason why many people do not prefer to turn on their camera during meeting and classes. On the other hand, when we are learning and meeting in the virtual world, we are not seeing ourselves, but our avatars. By default, we are seeing other avatars from the eyes of our own avatar. True, avatar's facial expression is not expressive yet. However, without feeling of one's self-consciousness and surveillance, virtual world once again exceeded the virtual conferencing tools. Humanity. What is humanity? According to Oxford Dictionary, it is the quality of being kind to people and animals by making sure that they do not suffer more than is necessary. The quality of being humane. Merriam-Webster Dictionary says humanity is compassionate, sympathetic, and generous behavior or disposition. During COVID, everyone is suffering. Regardless of what one thinks of COVID, the whole world is in an uncertain state. While everyone is suffering, how can each person ensure that others do not suffer more than is necessary? I think that maybe now is the ideal time for human beings to rediscover humanity, and I think it is already happening. Many emails I received, it starts with, I hope you are healthy at the beginning, and the end with, stay safe and well. Although these are simple words, they demonstrate care for the others. The world has become in which each person only needs to care for themselves and their own success. However, COVID has proven that everyone is connected, and it is difficult to isolate oneself from the world. If everyone is only care for themselves, then the COVID will not end. I'm also aware that when there is negative emotion, they will not have peaceful conversation. Humanity might require a peaceful mind before we are able to be compassionate, sympathetic, generous, or behavior or disposition. Humanity through technology. Due to the lockdown and isolation, increasing number of people are becoming mentally ill. Humanity is the cure. I am thankful for those who have cared for me during my difficult time, and I appreciate my new friends who supported me without knowing my struggle. Is the physical world the only place for humanity? I think not. Can the darkness of the internet destroy humanity? I think it's not impossible. When we are with whom they have the relationship that may influence our personal benefit, it is hard to find humanity in it. However, if we are with whom they won't influence both parties' benefits, humanity might be found. Perhaps it is why I love the virtual world. In the virtual world, when I meet people with whom I do not have direct benefit relationship, it is easier to bring humanity to the surface. However, it does not mean that humanity can necessarily be easily achieved in virtual worlds. It is a starting point where people can experience the warmth of human relationships. How to sustain it is another important question to contemplate. Humanity cannot be achieved from one side. It must come from all parties. Technologies bring people together, and even though people may not be physically together, they are together through their minds. Without knowing each other's gender, race, age, and sexual preferences behind their avatars, Maybe it is easier to forget who we are and who we are engaging with. Because of the technology, I can purely engage with others through their minds. Will this be the answer to rediscovering humanity? Conclusion. Review my experience in 2020. From getting out of the depression black hole, the passing of my dear friends normally, to the COVID lockdown, homeschooling, and learning with my son, to several human online and offline interactions, the experience of humanity was the cure that saved me. Reading into the materialism and post-humanism, none of my 2020 experience can be justified by these theories. I'm not trying to recreate humanity. I'm not trying to save the humankind. I'm only thinking maybe it is time for us to refocus on our interhuman relationship. Interhuman relationship is something that takes time and effort to establish and maintain. Without humanity in the interhuman relationship, the relationship won't be healthy. I believe humanity is part of our human nature. Be loving, be kind might be cliche to discuss. However, if we were in pain, anger, or sadness, humanity won't be brought out from our human nature easily. Today, I'm here, ready to smile, reaching out and providing support to those who are needed. I'm willing to spend time with them, trying to listen, contemplate, and understand. I deeply appreciate those who did the same to me, and I am here to give back. 2020 was not easy. However, we made it. Let's open those pointy fingers and open arms to others. Let's embrace the humanity in the era of virtual connection. Questions. These questions are based on my experience last year. Is there any precondition of humanity? What is humanity? Do you think humanity is especially important during the COVID time? Why? In what ways can technology enhance humanity? And what are the pros and cons of utilizing technology for humanity? I do not have an answer for above questions. However, I would like to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to share with me. Thank you. I agree. Humanity because of love, because of care. That's what we, as human, we have that in us, right? Thank you all. I'm so happy to be back this year. Oh, sure. I can read all the comments. That's yeah. Let me try to go from the bottom to the up. Let's